Hello everyone, I'm back again. This is Sean, and this is the first video of the StarCraft Excelsior class refit build. This is 1400 scale, so you can see from its decals here. But with this model, I'm not going to try to build it all the way through. This is more of a paint test. It's more of a, as you can see, you have the aqua decals here. But I'm going to show you these decals closer up. Just give me one moment. I'm going to set up the tripod for this. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to show you the color difference between the Excelsior decal for the trench and the one for the bottom secondary hull. And you'll see why I'm only base coating a couple parts of the ship right now, just to get the color narrowed down. Good. So, you can see the trench here, and you can see, oh, I'm going to tilt the camera up just a second. There, that's better. Okay, so, you can see the trench here. The saucer trench, the nacelle tops. You can see how it's already split into two pieces, and it's definitely green. And you can see the guide here. So the nacelle top 75 on the side of the nacelle, so you don't have to paint the grill manually. It'll be 76. And the saucer trench is going to be number, according to the guide, 54. Now, interesting, look at the instructions. Look at the color of 54 on the instructions. Look at the color of 54 in real life. It's definitely like a teal green. But take a look. I'm going to show you some of the other decals. Now, it looks like the side stripe is almost a teal green too, although somehow one section of the sheet, they shifted the image too far to the left, and it cut off part of this stripe. So I might have to try to manually paint that. But take a look at this. First, the Aztec have a blue pattern all through the saucer section. Blue, not aqua. See? But here's where the difference is most striking. Take a look at the difference between the bottom of the star drive hull, it's definitely a light blue, and the top of the nacelles, which is definitely aqua. Now I know on the camera they look identical, but in real life to my eye, this is definitely light blue, not aqua. Same with the bottom of the secondary hull. You can see that on camera there. See how it's a blue? Same with the thrusters for the ends of the nacelles and their tail fins. Now I'm going to take a look at the other sheet and see what I get. Now this is a bit better. The other sheet around the bridge, that looks pretty close to aqua, although it still has a trace of blue, as you can see from this one. Look at that tail fin. That tail fin, definitely a light blue, not an aqua. The front of the nacelle housing, oh, upside down, just a minute. There we go, that's better. The front of the nacelle housing, light blue, not an aqua. Same with around the shuttle bay, the side impulse housing fins, the stripes that go along the front and back of the nacelle pylons, both top and bottom. Strange that there's 4 of them. And then there, of course, is the hatches. That's where it's most obvious. Look at those hatches versus the aqua. Look at the side stripes here. But what I'm going to do to compensate, I'm going to put these decals on first because they are definitely that light aqua color. Oop, there you go. See the numbers right side up. I'm going to put these decals on first because they're the light aqua color. I'm going to see what color they dry to against the light white hull. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Stand by. Thanks for waiting. I'm back. Okay, so what we have here are the various paints and their brands. Teal, of course, that I have picked that I can use for manually painting the 1000 scale Enterprise-B. See? And of course I have lots of, well, pearl teal, everything else in here. You see, there's a teal, there's a, that's a folk art aquamarine green. It's probably not light enough to be a teal, but it depends what color the decals dry to. And I got every teal or aqua that I could think of. Not the bluish ones. That's more for the NX Excelsior. But definitely the greenish ones. See, there's a teal mint. This is patina. This is a Deco Art teal mint. And you got two of the same kind. This aqua's probably too light. Minted aqua. Folk Art Adrift, Craft Smart, no, Apple Barrel Key West, again, a light teal color. Deco Art Sea Breeze, Deco Art Teal Mints, oh goodness, there's 3 of them. 1 second here. That is interesting. I'm going to put all the Deco Art together, there we go. And patina and aquamarine. Patina again. There we go. Alright, sorted the box. And there's nothing else in here that isn't, that's peacock teal, but that's more for the Excelsior. There's a Craft Smart Robin's Egg Blue. Now that's interesting. You take a look at this. It's a very light teal, but I'm going to use the Robin's Egg Blue as my backup for the other blue. So I'm let's see, I'm going to take you through the different, I took you through these decals. I'm going to take you through the new JaxHax Creations 1000 scale decals, and I'm going to be right back with that. Alright, thanks for waiting, I'm back. So as you can see, I have both Enterprise-B kits, and you can see here on the side the color I'm aiming for, because look at the color that it is on the box. It's a blue, but this is clearly the aqua from the movie. So let's just take a look in the box here. I want to see, there's one I'm going to build as a Lakota. Ah, perfect. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see how these are labeled. Oh, tilt the camera up for this one. There you go. You can see how these are labeled. Alright, 1 second. I'm going to put everything down on the floor. Still can't see it? Well, you can see. All right, I'll take the sheet out. But first, I'm going to open up the Lakota, the one I'm going to build as the Lakota, because I want to compare everything. So these are the original JaxHax Creations decals, and I'm going to use. Here's the outer saucer grays that I cut out, that I'm going to use for the Enterprise-B. You already saw the review of those decals, but I do want to demonstrate something here. So I'm just going to be careful, don't want to get anything mixed up between the two of them. Now the interesting thing, when I got the second set of decals, as you can see, it says 1000 scale Excelsior decals. Well, clearly, it's for the Enterprise-B. Now, just 1 second, I'm going to show you the second bag, and I'm going to show you what it says. This clearly says Enterprise-B Custom Aztec Paneling. And yet, yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to take you through the decals page by page based on what ship it is. So, you have the guide for the Enterprise-B, first one. You have the guide for the Enterprise-B, which actually came labeled as Excelsior. So that's that one. It's very strange, but I'm going to show you. Okay. Get the paper off. Now, this is where the difference comes in. Here are the Enterprise-B that came labeled as such for the upper and lower saucer, right? Well, here's what came labeled for the Excelsior for the upper and lower saucer. Now, you can clearly see the pattern in here is blue, not aqua. But for me, that's okay because I can go in with a very fine paintbrush and color those aqua, like a lighter aqua here, darker aqua there. Okay, so that's the first sheet of both sets. Now we're going to compare the second sheet of both sets, because this is very fascinating. It's really quite interesting, and that's why one of them is going to be saved for the Lakota, and it's going to have a darker gray hull to compensate. So, you have the Enterprise-B. Look how dark those are. That's why the Lakota is going to get a darker gray hull. Look at these light ones for the Enterprise-B. Look, specifically look at the outer saucer ring. Lakota on the left, Enterprise-B on the right, and that's precisely why I'm going to use these for the Enterprise-B, and it's probably going to get a white hull. You see everything in here that's colored in? That is going to be used with whatever color the decals dry to and whatever I can match with my paint. So everywhere in the pattern is going to be colored properly. But also, underneath, say decal number 5, on the hull, underneath, it's going to be colored all of it, that aqua. And of course, around the bridge and everything. Okay, so that's the lighter ones. So now we'll take a look at, compare to the lower sensor dome and a detail around the bridge. So, right one, it's the one that was supposedly called Excelsior. You see how light it is. Right one, it's going to be for the Lakota. You see how dark it is. So the difference between enhanced on the left, regular on the right. And you see the light blue? Everywhere you see a light blue in here, I'm going to manually color the aqua while leaving that very light gray intact. Everywhere on the decal. Okay, so that's that one. And we'll take a look at the remaining squares for each guide. It's really quite interesting to see the subtle color difference up close. Well, not so subtle, really. But it really makes a big difference. Okay, here we go. Enterprise-B on the right, Lakota on the left. And even the spare paneling is completely different, completely more subtle. So that's good to know. But I mean, come on, you can see how the pattern is completely identical. All right, then we get into the differences. Here's a panel that was not on the first set. You have a multicolored panel with, aqua all throughout, even some traces of blue. But clearly, aqua, you can tell. And then you have one that's plain. So wherever you have to fix anything, you can add it in. All right, so that's that. And then we get to the extra sheet that was included in both, but is identical. See? NCC 2000, but also Enterprise-B. Same for the Lakota stuff. Now, you don't have any extra registries for the Lakota, but you do have them in the Federation models decals. So that's good. All right, so clearly, the set with lighter colors was for the Enterprise-B, even though it is weirdly labeled as the Excelsior. Strange. Which is why I included a new properly labeled sheet on the very front explaining the difference. As you can see here, I explained the difference. So that's those decals, and you don't have to worry about the Lakota because I've got the Lakota Federation Models trim decals here. Let me take a closer look, because what I might have to do with the Excelsior is I might have to rate it for the impulse thrusters or the stripes. There you go. There's the back impulse thrusters. And that's what I'm going to use when finishing up the Excelsior, because I'm going to show you something on the Excelsior in just a minute here, so I'll be right back. So, I just want to explain something about the Excelsior and why I'm going to use the Federation Models trim decals for the Excelsior. They're actually a lighter blue. You can see the stripe here. That's a Federation Models stripe, even though it looks identical to the teal. Now, if you look at the impulse housing, you'll see how some of the model glue, when I put the neck together, wrecked it. That gives me an excuse to replace it. Same with the other side. You can see the glue got the edge. That gives me an excuse to replace it, because you can clearly see the color difference between the side stripe and that. You see how much darker it is? So I'm going to use the Federation Models one to place it. I'm leaving the Excelsior neck as it is, and then I'll clean it up. I'll clean up the gunmetal gray and everything afterwards. I was stacking books and everything, and this turned out to be the best thing to stack it with, so I'll do that with the Excelsior, and that'll be part of video 21 of the Excelsior once it's flipped over. But I'm going to leave it like this for the next 7 days. I'm not going to wreck it, not going to move it. It's going to stay exactly where it is for the next 7 days, just to make sure the glue holds. Because I'm paranoid. I saw what happened with the Enterprise-A. It didn't have a big enough gluing surface. So anyway, that's all for now. I will post this, I'll post this video as a model building update video. And to finish off, I'm going to show you how I primered. I put primer on the parts that I'm going to use the decals for the 1400 Enterprise-B. And then this morning I just used the base white. But what I did, I made sure this time, wherever there's going to be a gluing contact surface, for the most part, I masked it off just with the Tamiya masking tape, as you can see here. So once this base white is dry, say tomorrow, that's when I'm going to start putting on decals. But basically, I'll start with just the saucer trench, because that's a recessed area, and it should work out well. And then we'll see what color it dries to, and then I'll use one of my aqua paints to put it in place. And as far as the Excelsior, I've got the third set of Federation Models decals. I've got the second set here. I've got the first set underneath. I even have extra windows, maybe not as bright blue, but they are integrated with stripes and windows. I've got the third set right here already, including 3 of its thrusters, although I'm going to have to replace a few more thrusters than that. So anyway, that's pretty well everything for the Excelsior, and I'm going to work on that. I'll post that video number 21, but in the meantime, I just wanted to give you an update on everything I'm working on, which of course also includes, I finished the bottom side decals on the Enterprise NX01 refit. As you can see from the diagram here, see, everything in purple on the bottom is what I finished, including the bottom of the secondary hull. You can see, say, decal 18 and 23 there. So all that's really left to do is the decals on the top hull. There's a few more. I'll focus on the Star Drive hull first. It looks like there's only 4 of those. And I'll come back with that video. I think that'll be part 9 of the NX01 build. I'll come back with that video when I've posted it. But this, even though I'm filming this, say it's September 18th right now, this update build video is what I'm going to post today, even though I'm at least 15 parts behind in posting the Excelsior videos compared to what I have built up to now. And that's why I'm starting to post the Excelsior videos twice a week instead of just once a week, so I can somewhat catch up. So anyway, that's the update on the building process for now. I have the 1000 scale JaxHax Creation decals, Aztecs for the NX01, ready to do for the Columbia. Completely different pattern. So I'll come back with the next video. I'll try to post this video today, and I'll see you here next time for the next part of my Excelsior build series. Talk to you all then, and have a good weekend.